Layla and James walked home together after a long day at work. The sun had just dipped beyond the horizon, leaving a soft orange hue over the neighborhood. But despite the peaceful scene, tension weighed heavily between them. They had both just been fired. "Why do you have to go and fight with the boss's daughter, Layla?" James asked, rubbing the back of his neck in frustration. "What was I supposed to do? Just stand there while she tried to hurt you?" Layla shot back. "You didn't see it, James. She nearly threw boiling water at you." "I could have handled it," James said quietly, eyes on the sidewalk. "And why should you have to?" Layla retorted, voice firm. "You're my friend, James. I couldn't let her humiliate you like that." James sighed and stopped walking for a second. "I'm sorry, Layla. Now you're jobless too, and it's my fault." "Don't say that," she said, placing a hand on his shoulder. "We'll find new jobs. Don't worry." They had just started walking again when the sound of gunshots shattered the air. James shrieked and instinctively covered his ears. Layla quickly grabbed him and pulled him behind a nearby tree. They crouched, breathless, as the echo of violence rang in the night. "What's happening?" James whispered, voice shaking. "I don't know," Layla answered, peeking out from behind the tree. Her eyes widened. "Looks like someone's being dumped out of that SUV. "Layla, we need to go. This neighborhood's empty right now. It's too dangerous," James said, trembling. "Quiet," Layla hissed, her eyes locked on the scene. Armed men had stepped out of a black vehicle, tossing something, or someone, out of it. Layla couldn't see clearly, but the violence was enough to freeze her in place. For nearly 5 minutes, the men continued beating and kicking whoever was inside the car. When they finally seemed satisfied that their victim had no chance of surviving, they sped off, disappearing into the night. "They're gone now. Let's get out of here," James said, tugging at her arm. But Layla didn't move. Instead, she ran toward the now smoldering car. "Layla, are you crazy?" James called after her. Layla ignored him, stepping closer to the wreckage. A faint sound caught her ear, a soft rustle. She turned sharply and saw him, a man, covered in blood, barely conscious. "Oh my God," she whispered, rushing over to him. "Sir, are you okay?" James came running up beside her, eyes wide with alarm. "Layla, who is that?" "Shh, don't scream," she said quickly. "Sir, please hold on. We're calling 911. "No!" the man croaked, grabbing her wrist with what little strength he had. "Don't call them. Not yet. Please, just get me away from here." Layla hesitated, torn between panic and instinct. "You're injured. You need a hospital." "Please," he begged, grimacing in pain, clutching his side where the bullet had torn through. Layla exhaled sharply. "Okay, we'll take you to my house. James, help me lift him." "Are you serious? Where the hell are we supposed to take him?" James asked. "To my place. It's nearby," Layla replied urgently. "His wound needs cleaning before he gets infected." James groaned but helped. Together they carried the bloodied stranger down the block. Layla's small house sat at the end of a quiet suburban lane, her nearest neighbors long since gone to sleep. Thankfully, no one saw them sneak in. They brought the man into Layla's bedroom and laid him on her old futon. "Layla, he's losing a lot of blood. He might die," James whispered, panicked. "Shut up, James," she said. "We don't need the neighbors hearing us. Go grab hot water, some cloth, and a basin. Hurry." James scrambled off. Layla grabbed her old nursing kit, leftovers from a course she never finished, and knelt beside the man. "Don't fall asleep, please. I'm not a licensed nurse or doctor," she said, brushing the sweat from his brow. "But I'll try my best to get that bullet out." The man groaned in agony. When James returned with the supplies, Layla got to work. It took almost 2 hours, filled with stifled cries from the injured man. James hovered nervously as Layla cleaned, dressed, and sutured the wound to the best of her ability. Eventually, the man passed out from the pain and exhaustion. "What are you going to do with him now?" James asked, glancing at the sleeping figure. "I don't know," Layla admitted. "He didn't want the police involved or to go to the hospital. I'll let him stay until he's better." "And what if he's a criminal?" "I'll deal with that later. For now he needs help, and I'm going to give it." James sighed, defeated. "All right, text me if you need anything. I'm heading home." Layla nodded and walked him to the door. When she returned, the house felt oddly quiet. The man was still asleep. Layla, physically and emotionally drained, lay down on the living room couch and drifted into a heavy sleep. She didn't wake up until noon the next day. Layla sprang to her feet as soon as she realized the time. It was already midday. She hurried straight to the bedroom to check on the man, who was still asleep. Relieved, she quietly stepped back out and went to prepare food. Luckily, she still had some rice and a few packs of instant noodles. She stepped outside to buy some bread to go with it, and after preparing everything, she placed the tray carefully and returned to the room. "Sir," she said softly, setting the food down, "you need to eat something to regain your strength." The man stirred, groaning as he shifted his position. Layla tried again. "Sir, wake up." After a few tries, his eyes finally fluttered open. He looked around in confusion, locking eyes with her. Suddenly, he pushed himself upright, then immediately winced from the pain. "You have a deep wound," Layla said quickly. "Don't move too much." "Why am I here?" he asked, dazed. "Who are you?" "You don't remember what happened last night?" she asked gently. "Someone tried to kill you. Your car was ambushed." The man frowned, rubbing his temple. Then his expression changed to suspicion. Maybe you're one of them. Are you working with those men? How much did they pay you? I'll triple it." Layla's face hardened. "I'm the one who helped you. If I hadn't seen you last night, you'd be dead. You were unconscious from a gunshot to your abdomen." The man's expression softened. "I'm sorry," he said. "I didn't mean to accuse you. My head's just a mess right now." "If you don't mind me asking," she continued, "do you know who tried to kill you? And what's your name?" "My name," he said slowly, "is Sebastian Veraboy. And no, I can't say anything more." "Sebastian?" she repeated. "Oh, I thought I heard Veraboyi." "My bad." "Well, close enough," he replied with a faint smile. Layla helped him sit up properly and offered to feed him. "I can manage. This is too embarrassing," he said. "No need to be shy. Besides, your right arm is wounded too. You'll have trouble feeding yourself." She spooned some food into his mouth, and he reluctantly accepted. After eating, Layla was about to leave when Sebastian stopped her. "Wait," he said. "What's your name?" "Layla." "Thanks, Layla, I mean it." She smiled. "I'll be in the kitchen. Call me if you need anything." Just as she started tidying up, James came through the door. "Oh, hey, you're back," Layla greeted him. "Yeah," James said, scowling. "Mum's mad at me again." "Why this time?" "Because I don't have a job. She said I should have just endured the abuse from our old boss." He sighed, slumping onto a chair. "She thinks I'm useless, not even worthy of being her son." Layla approached him, concerned. "Hey, don't say that. Even if your mom breaks your heart, I'll always be here for you." "Ugh, Mars, you're making me cry," James said, pulling her into a hug. They held each other tightly for a moment. Then James suddenly pulled away, curiosity lighting up his face. "How's the guy from last night?" "He's awake now," Layla replied. "I fed him earlier." "Wow, that's good. So what's your plan? You keeping him here?" "He's still recovering. I'll let him stay until he's better." James grinned. To be honest, Mars, that guy is fine as hell. He's got the looks and muscles too. Oh, come on. Layla swatted his arm. I'm serious. That man's hot, James said, fanning himself dramatically. Makes me wish I had someone to flirt with. You're too much, Layla laughed. Come on, I need to grab a few things from the store. They walked to a nearby neighborhood market. Layla called out, Mrs. Tessa. Oh, Layla, what can I get you? Can I borrow a couple cans of sardines again, and maybe 2 pounds of rice? She asked hesitantly. Of course, dear, but just a reminder, your tab's getting long. I understand. I'll pay, I promise. Just maybe next month. I'll hold you to that, sweetie. I'm starting to run low on capital, so I really need to collect. I get it. Thank you, Mrs. Tessa. After getting the food, they returned to the house, but as they stepped inside, they were shocked to see Sebastian sitting at the kitchen table. Oh my God! Sebastian, are you okay? You shouldn't be out of bed, Layla exclaimed, rushing to him. James rolled his eyes. Wow, Mars, that was a real best-in-line delivery. Layla ignored him and focused on Sebastian. I'm okay, Sebastian said quickly. I just needed to use the bathroom. Well, come on, let's eat, she said. James, join us too. Don't mind if I do, James said, settling into a seat. Layla brought over the rice and sardines. They all sat at the table, and she led them in a quick prayer. Thank you, Lord, for this food. Please keep us healthy and happy. Amen. Everyone started to eat, except for Sebastian. Layla noticed. Is something wrong? She asked. You don't like sardines or something? James added teasingly. Sebastian scratched his neck. It's not that I don't like them. I'm allergic to this type of fish. Oh no, Layla said, already rising. I'll go get you something else. Mars, James interrupted. You borrowed those sardines, remember? You're gonna borrow again? I'll manage, Layla said. It's not right to feed him something he can't eat. Layla, Sebastian said softly. It's okay, just rice is fine. Nope, not acceptable. I'll be right back. James, keep him company. Got it, Mars. By the time Layla returned with another dish, James had already finished eating. Hey, Mars, I've got to go. My aunt needs me to run an errand. Layla nodded. All right, be careful. As James left, Sebastian spoke up. Layla, I'm sorry again for being such a burden. Don't be, she said with a smile. Here, I got you some adobo. You eat that, right? Yes, thank you so much. You don't have to repay me or anything. I'm just doing what's right. Sebastian gave her a small, grateful smile and began eating. I'll wash the dishes, he said when he was done. No, Seb, you should rest. I feel fine. Besides, I get bored when I'm just lying around. All right then, Layla said, handing him a basket of clothes. How about folding these instead? They're from my laundry service. You okay with that? His face lit up. Absolutely. She smiled and handed him the pile of clothes while she washed the dishes. Her house was tiny, just a single-room space where the kitchen, living area, and bedroom were all visible from the front door. From where he sat, Sebastian could clearly see Layla washing dishes. Layla, he called, you sure have a lot of laundry. They're not mine. Oh, you live with someone? Nope. Then who do they belong to? My clients. I do laundry for extra money. How much do you charge per basket? $10. Depends on how much there is. That's pretty cheap. You must be losing money on electricity and detergent alone. I don't use a washing machine, she said with a chuckle. I wash everything by hand. I don't even have electricity. Sebastian's jaw dropped. Wait. What? How do you even live like that? And your parents? They're gone. Both died in an accident. Oh, I'm sorry. It's all right, I'm used to it. Anyway, I'll go talk to some neighbors. They'll probably have more laundry for me. It took Layla a while to return home. By the time she did, Sebastian had finished folding the laundry and had dozed off in the chair. Layla smiled when she saw him, then quietly resumed her chores. That day she received a lot of laundry orders, about 5 baskets in total. She was confident she could now pay off her debts at the corner store. Her only remaining concern was the house rent. Evening came and Layla was still washing clothes. "What are you doing out here?" she asked when she saw Sebastian approaching. "I wanted to help," he said, taking a seat beside her as she rinsed the clothes. "No need. I know you're not used to this kind of work. Just stay inside." "Let me help, Layla. It'll be faster if we work together, and besides, it's already dark." "Fine, suit yourself." As they worked side by side, a neighbor happened to pass by and immediately noticed Sebastian. "Oh, Layla, you've got a man now. You're living together already." "No, Mrs. Myers," Layla protested. "Don't deny it. You two look good together. Such a handsome boyfriend, Layla. Poor Rico's heart is probably breaking right now. And you, young man, your face looks familiar. Have we met before?" I don't think so, Mom. Must be someone who looks like me." "Maybe. Anyway, you two should hurry up and have kids. Don't waste that good mix of genes." Layla could only rub her forehead in embarrassment. "Sorry about her," she said to Sebastian. "People here always assume things when they see a man and woman together." She thought James and I were a couple once too, just because we're always together. Imagine that. James is way more feminine than I am. "It's okay," Sebastian chuckled. "And besides, I wouldn't mind if people mistook you for my girlfriend, unless of course you already have a boyfriend. Was that guy she mentioned Rico?" "I don't have a boyfriend, Seb, and I'm not thinking about romance right now, especially with my life the way it is. All I want is to save up so I can go back to school." "All right, let's finish this so we can finally eat." An hour later, they wrapped up the laundry. They changed out of their wet clothes and sat down for dinner. Since Layla didn't have electricity, they ate by the warm glow of a kerosene lamp. "Thank you, Lord, for the blessings. Keep us healthy and happy," they prayed together before eating. But just as they were enjoying their meal, a cockroach flew straight at Sebastian. He jumped up and screamed, causing Layla to spring up too. In his panic, Sebastian bumped into her, and they both fell to the floor, with Sebastian landing on top of her. Their eyes widened, their lips had accidentally met. For 5 full seconds they stayed like that, frozen, stunned, and locked in a gaze neither could break. That's exactly when James walked in. "Whoa! What in the world? My virgin eyes!" he shrieked, covering his face dramatically. Sebastian scrambled to his feet, quickly helping Layla up. "What was that? Are you two dating now?" James asked, staring at them. "No," Layla exclaimed, flustered. "It's not what you think. We just tripped." "Yeah, right," James said, unconvinced. "Anyway, I just came to drop off something from Mom. Now that I have, I'll leave you two to continue whatever that was." "James, you idiot!" Layla shouted, chasing after him as he ran off with his arms raised in mock horror. When she turned back to Sebastian, she found him staring at her. The awkward silence returned. Neither of them could meet the other's eyes. "I'll wash the dishes," they both said at the same time. "You rest, Layla," Sebastian added. "I know how exhausted you must be from all that laundry." Layla nodded, unable to look him in the eye. She walked to the living room and began arranging her makeshift bed. "Layla," Sebastian called. "I think I should sleep out here on the couch. You should take the bed. It'll be more comfortable for you." "No, it's fine. I'll sleep here." Sebastian didn't argue. Instead, he scooped her up in his arms. "Seb, what are you doing? I said I'd sleep out here." You'll reopen your wound if you sleep on the couch. We'll both sleep in the bed. Wait, what? Don't worry, he said gently. I won't do anything to you, I promise, unless you don't trust me. That's not it. I trust you, Layla replied quietly. Okay, we can both sleep there. Good, rest up. I'll finish cleaning the kitchen. He didn't stay long in the kitchen. Soon, he returned to the bedroom. As he lay down, his shoulder brushed against hers. There wasn't much space on the small bed. The scent of his skin made Layla's heart race. Layla, are you still awake? He asked after a moment. I am. Why? I wanted to talk. Can you tell me more about your life? There's not much to tell, she said. I'm just a poor girl, doing what I can to survive. I live the saying, one day's work, one day's meal. It's exhausting. She paused, then added softly, sometimes I envy rich people. They have the luxury of choosing what they want to be. People like me, we don't have that freedom. We have to weigh every dream against what we need to survive. Sebastian turned to look at her. You may be poor, but I admire your strength and determination. Despite everything, you're still standing. Layla let out a bitter laugh. That's everyone's biggest misconception about me, that I can do everything on my own. But the truth is, I get tired too. I need someone to lean on, someone to be my safe place. Then let me be that safe place for you. They looked into each other's eyes. Without a word, Sebastian wrapped his arms around her. Layla wanted to push him away, but the comfort of his embrace made her stay. She closed her eyes and let herself rest in the warmth of his arms. The next morning, Layla was jolted awake by a woman's voice yelling from outside. Layla, get out here right now! She jumped out of bed and rushed to the living room to open the door. Good morning, Mrs. Norton, Layla said awkwardly, forcing a smile. Good morning, the landlady snapped. There's nothing good about it. You know what would make it good? If you finally paid your rent. You're 3 months behind. I'm so sorry, Mrs. Norton. Things have been tight, but I promise I'll pay this month. That won't cut it, Layla. If you don't pay today, you're out. I have someone else moving in this afternoon. Sebastian suddenly stepped out behind Layla. What's going on here? He asked, clearly confused. Oh, I see, Mrs. Norton sneered. So you've got someone living with you now? Is he your boyfriend? You should have found someone rich, not another broke man. She turned toward the men she had brought with her. Well, don't just stand there. Start hauling their stuff out. The new tenant's coming soon. No, please, Mrs. Norton. Just give me 1 more week, Layla pleaded. Too late. I've already been paid. You're out. There was nothing Layla could do but watch as their belongings were thrown outside. At that moment, James arrived. Mars, what happened? I'm being evicted. I couldn't pay the rent, she said, tears starting to form. Where will you go now? I don't know. A few seconds later, Sebastian spoke up. Layla, you can stay at my house. But you're still recovering. It might be dangerous for you. I'm fine now. I can take care of myself. Where do you even live? She asked, hesitating. He smiled faintly. Come on, I'll show you. They hopped into a taxi and made their way across town. Layla and James sat in stunned silence as the car pulled up to a massive mansion. We're here, Sebastian said. Layla's jaw nearly dropped. This is your house? Before Sebastian could reply, a uniformed security guard rushed over. Sir, thank God you're safe, the guard cried, hugging him. They said on the news you might be dead. I'm fine now. Let's go inside. As they entered, a crowd of household staff immediately noticed him. The air was electric with joy. One by one, they rushed to Sebastian, hugging him, some with tears in their eyes. It's a miracle you're alive, one cried. Who are they? An older woman asked. gesturing toward Layla and James. They're the ones who saved me. They're going to live here now. Miss Thelma, can you show them to the guest room? Wait a minute, James interrupted. You mean, even me? I can stay too? Layla elbowed him sharply. Yes, James, you're both welcome, Sebastian confirmed. I have something to take care of, so I'll leave you with Miss Thelma for now. Thanks, Sebastian, Layla said, smiling. Their eyes met, and he gave her a warm smile before walking away. Come, dears, Miss Thelma said. You must be exhausted. They followed her upstairs to a spacious room with 2 large beds. This room's bigger than our whole house, James squealed. Quiet down, Layla hissed. You're embarrassing us. Miss Thelma chuckled. Don't worry, I have a son just like you. If you get hungry, just come downstairs. Don't be shy. Help yourselves to anything in the kitchen, or you can tell me what you need. Thank you so much, Layla said as the woman left. As soon as she was gone, James turned to Layla. Mars, I had no idea Mr. Handsome was this rich. Good thing we helped him that night. Stop it, James, Layla groaned. Now I feel even more awkward. What if he thinks we're only being nice to get something in return? If you really want to repay him, here's an idea. We apply to work here. You mean as housekeepers? Exactly. That way we can finally solve our job problems. But wouldn't that be shameless? What if he thinks we're taking advantage? Layla, we're broke. Shame won't pay bills. Let's survive first, then worry about pride. Fine, I'll talk to him later. Layla sat in the living room as Sebastian entered, talking on his phone. She quietly followed him into the kitchen. Oh, hey, Layla, have you eaten? Yes, I have. Actually, I wanted to ask for a favor, only if it's not too much trouble. You can ask me anything. Are you, maybe, looking for household staff right now? Sebastian's eyes widened. Actually, yes. 2 of my maids recently left. They're both pregnant. Ms. Thelma's looking for replacements. Really? Layla asked, her face lighting up. I was hoping maybe James and I could apply. He blinked in surprise, clearly caught off guard. Layla, you don't have to work for me. I can give you everything you need without asking anything in return. It's the least I can do. That's not what I want, Seb. Please, just let us work for you. I don't feel right living here for free. If you really insist, okay, but you'll have to accept something from me in return. What is it? I want to send you back to school. I'll pay for everything. Layla looked stunned. I can't let you do that. If you say no, I won't let you work here either. She hesitated, eyes brimming with tears. Okay, I accept. Thank you so much, Sebastian. She threw her arms around him in gratitude. He hugged her back and whispered into her ear. From this day on, you'll never be alone. I'll be your safe place. Layla pulled back, her eyes wide. What did you say? I said, get some rest. You and James start work tomorrow. Layla smiled. Thank you, Seb. I'll never forget this. She returned to her room, feeling peace for the first time in a long while. That night, she slept soundly, holding on to a new hope for her dream of becoming a nurse. The next morning, both Layla and James woke up early to begin their first day on the job at the mansion. They were given uniforms and were trained in their duties. Layla's first task was to prepare Sebastian's breakfast. She went down to the kitchen and cooked eggs, hot dogs, fried rice, and even toasted some bread. Just as she was finishing, Sebastian came down the stairs. Good morning, sir, she greeted politely. Sebastian frowned slightly. Did you just call me sir? Yes, Layla replied. Now that I work for you, it's only proper. Layla, I'd prefer if you still called me Seb. I don't want things to feel awkward between us. But you're my boss now. It feels weird to call you by your name. Sebastian let out a deep sigh. Okay, how about this? You can call me Sir while you're on duty. Off duty, it's Seb. That's fair, Layla said. Now please eat. I'll head back to the kitchen. She was about to leave the dining table when Sebastian grabbed her hand. Join me, he said. I can't, sir. I still have chores to finish. Besides, maids don't eat with their employers. Please, just sit with me. Otherwise, I won't eat. Layla's eyes widened. Fine, but only for a little while. She sat down and began eating with him. Every now and then, she noticed Sebastian glancing at her with a quiet smile. By the time they finished breakfast, it was around 8 a.m. That was when Layla noticed Sebastian's formal attire. Sir, may I ask something? Of course, what is it? You look really dressed up today. Is that what you usually wear to work? Not always, only for special occasions. Oh, what's going on today? And what do you do for a living, exactly? There's a gathering at the office, he replied. As for what I do, let's just say I serve the public. Before Layla could ask more, a visitor entered the dining area. Good morning, Governor, the guest greeted him. Layla froze in place. Her eyes widened as she turned and quickly excused herself, heading to the kitchen. She leaned against the wall, heart racing. He's a governor, she thought. He's so young. No wonder his name sounded familiar. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you, Sebastian said, suddenly behind her. Layla jumped. Who wouldn't be shocked? You're a governor? That's exactly why I didn't tell you, he said. I knew things would change once you found out. Layla struggled to meet his gaze. So that's why you didn't want me to treat you differently. Exactly. Please, Layla, don't let this change how you act around me. I still want us to be friends. Before she could answer, someone called for Sebastian, and he left the room. A few minutes later, James walked in. Mars, what's with that look? You look like you saw a ghost. Sebastian, he's a governor. What? Governor? As in governor? Yeah. James's eyes widened. Oh my God. No wonder his name sounded familiar. But Mars, that's a good thing. Bigger salary for us. Layla didn't answer. She just nodded and walked off to the laundry room to begin her shift. That night, the head housekeeper, Ms. Thelma, rushed into the living room where Layla and James were resting. We need to get ready, she said breathlessly. The governor's parents are coming over tonight. They'll be here any minute. But we haven't prepared anything for dinner, Layla said. Then let's get moving. They all scrambled to get the house in order. Just as they were finishing, Sebastian returned, along with his guests. The first thing Layla noticed was a woman clinging to his arm. Good evening, ma'am, sir, Ms. Thelma greeted politely. Layla and James followed suit. The older woman smiled, glancing over the staff until her eyes landed on Layla. I didn't realize you had a new maid, Seb, she said, still staring at Layla. Yes, Mom. They just started. What's your name, dear? She asked, stepping closer. Layla, Mom, she answered shyly. You're far too beautiful to be a maid, Layla. Oh, thank you, she replied awkwardly, unable to meet the woman's gaze. Sebastian noticed her discomfort. Mom, you're making her uncomfortable. I'm sorry, dear, she said. It's just, you're stunning. By the way, Seb, how exactly did she end up working here? Sebastian replied, Layla and her friends saved my life. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't be here. What? The woman gasped. She immediately hugged Layla, tears forming in her eyes. Thank you for saving my son. We owe you everything. It was nothing, ma'am. We just did what anyone would do. No, not everyone would have done what you did, she said. Sebastian, I can't believe you let her become a maid. You should have rewarded her. Layla stepped in. Ma'am, he offered. I insisted on working instead. He even gave me a scholarship. That's more than enough. It's not, the woman said, shaking her head. You're too kind, Layla. Just then, the elegant woman clinging to Sebastian's arm cleared her throat. Aunt Tonette, aren't we going to sit down? We have something important to discuss. Oh, right, let's go, she said, patting Layla on the shoulder before heading to the dining area. So, sweetheart, Tonette asked, where's your dad? He's on his way, the woman replied. Got stuck in traffic. All right then, let's talk about your safety first, Sebastian. Mom, I told you, I'm fine. There's no reason to worry anymore. You're not fine until we find out why someone tried to kill you, Tonette insisted. She's right, the woman next to him added. It's still dangerous. I appreciate the concern, Sebastian said, but I knew what I was getting into the moment I entered politics. This is what I was afraid of, Tonette exclaimed. That's why I didn't want you involved in politics. Mum, we've talked about this, said a man who had just arrived, Sebastian's father. The authorities are investigating, so please don't worry. Fine, Tonette muttered. But tell me this. Why is this dinner with Irene and her father so important? Sebastian stared at her. Wait, what? Didn't you and Enrique already discuss plans for your wedding to Irene? Sebastian stood abruptly. Wedding? What are you talking about? Wedding? Sebastian repeated, staring at his mother in disbelief. Son, please sit down. Your father will explain, Tonette said. Sebastian's father cleared his throat. Son, Enrique and I have come to an agreement. You and Irene are to be married. But Dad, Irene and I are just friends. I know that, but you're not getting any younger, and it's time you settled down. Besides, if you marry Irene, our families will become even more influential, not just in the state, but across the entire country. I'm sorry, Dad, but I'm not marrying her, Sebastian said firmly, and stormed away from the table. Sebastian, come back here, his father shouted after him, but Sebastian didn't look back. Tonette stood up and followed him out to the garden, where she found him sitting on a bench. Seb, if you're here to convince me, I'm telling you now, I'm not going to follow Dad's plan, he said. I'm not here for that, Tonette replied gently. I just wanted to say I understand. I don't agree with what your father's doing either. I'll talk to him, okay? Sebastian exhaled, his shoulders relaxing. Thanks, Mom. He pulled her into a hug, holding her tightly. The guests eventually left, and the mansion quieted down. The staff began clearing up, and with many helping hands, cleanup didn't take long. Layla decided to spend some time in the garden to relax, now that her shift was over. There she spotted Sebastian sitting alone, a drink in hand. Sir, she called softly. He turned around. I thought you said you'd call me Seb after your shift. Layla smiled slightly. Seb, are you okay? He let out a deep breath. Number, I'm not. Do you want to talk about it? Is it about what happened at dinner? Layla, all my life, I've let my dad make decisions for me. I just wanted him to be proud of me. That's why I agreed to run for office. That's why I've done everything he asked. But even after all that, I don't feel like he ever truly sees me. Seb, every parent is proud of their child, especially if their child is someone like you. He looked down. It's different for me. You know why? Because deep down, he still blames me for my brother's death. Layla frowned. Why would he blame you? 10 years ago, my older brother died in a car accident. I was rebellious back then, partying all the time. One night, Dad and I had a huge argument. He kicked me out. My brother followed me, trying to stop me from leaving. He was rushing to catch up with my car, and got hit by a delivery truck. Tears welled up in Sebastian's eyes. He died on the spot. Layla moved closer and wrapped her arms around him. Seb, When my parents died, I blamed myself too. I thought if I had done things differently, they'd still be alive. But when I went to church one day, I realized there are things in life we just can't control. Death happens to everyone. The only difference is the time and way it comes. It's painful, but it's not your fault your brother died. His time had simply come. A tear escaped Sebastian's eye as he leaned into her embrace. Thank you, Layla. You have no idea how much that means to me. You should rest, Seb. I know you've had a long day. She started to walk away, but he stopped her. Layla, wait. What is it? You can return to your old school tomorrow. Huh? How? There are so many requirements. I haven't even started getting them ready. I already did. Everything's in your room now. Seriously? Layla asked, stunned. Do I look like I'm joking? Overcome with emotion, Layla ran toward him and threw her arms around him, then kissed him on the cheek. Sebastian froze in surprise. I promise I'll study hard so your support doesn't go to waste, she said. Before he could respond, she rushed back inside, leaving Sebastian standing in the garden, stunned but smiling. The next morning, Layla woke up early to prepare for school. She and Sebastian had agreed that she would do her household duties in the evenings instead. Her task was to take care of the weekly laundry. Study well, Mars, James called from the kitchen where he was cooking. Thanks, Mars, I'll get going, Layla replied with a smile. She commuted to school, using public transport. Fortunately, she still had a bit of money left from her laundry clients, which covered her fare and allowed her to bring lunch. She arrived early and was warmly welcomed by her former classmates. Layla, we missed you. We thought you weren't coming back, one of them exclaimed. Though she was now considered an irregular student due to missing a semester, Layla felt happy to be back. Even if she had to work harder, she was determined to continue her education. Days passed, and she and Sebastian barely saw each other. Both had become busy with their responsibilities. Then one afternoon, one of Layla's close friends, James, dropped her off at the mansion. We're here, he said. Thanks for the ride, James, Layla said, getting out of the car. No problem, he replied, stepping toward her and gently tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. Can I pick you up tomorrow too? Oh no, that's not necessary, Layla said politely. But I insist, he said. It's really okay, I can manage, she said, then added, you should head home. We both still have assignments, right? All right, James said with a smile. Then before she could react, he kissed her on the cheek and sped off in his car. Layla let out a deep breath and turned to head inside, but was startled to find Sebastian standing there, watching her. Seb, she said, surprised but happy. Who was that? He asked coldly. He's my classmate, James, she replied. Just a classmate, or is he your boyfriend? He's not my boyfriend, Seb, Layla said gently. I thought you were different, he snapped, but you're just like every other girl. You're a flirt. What? Layla's voice cracked. You think I'm a flirt? You let someone kiss you when he's not even your boyfriend. Who knows what else happened in that car? Tears welled up in Layla's eyes. I'm not a flirt, sir. Yes, I'm thankful to you for helping me continue my studies, but that doesn't give you the right to judge my character. Her voice rose slightly as she wiped her tears. Then she walked past him and entered the house. Inside her room, she went straight to the bathroom and cried in silence. After showering to calm herself, she emerged with swollen eyes. Were you crying, Mars? James asked when she came out. Number I just got soap in my eye, she said. You sure? Of course. Now go rest. I'll take care of the laundry. All right, James replied, but make sure you eat first. Layla nodded and headed out to the laundry area. As she began washing clothes, she heard footsteps behind her. James, I told you to go rest. I've got this, she said, without turning around. There was no response. Suddenly, she felt someone wrap their arms around her. She smelled alcohol on his breath. This wasn't James. "Let go of me," she said shakily. "Seb, don't." "I'm sorry, Layla. You shouldn't be touching me like this." "I said I'm sorry." Layla didn't respond right away. She let him speak. "I lost control of my mouth earlier. I didn't mean what I said." "But you still said it," she replied, voice steady. "I was hurt. I was jealous." "Jealous?" "Because I like you, Layla. I like you a lot." His voice was soft, as if trying to convince himself of the words as much as her. "When I saw that guy kiss you earlier, I lost it." Then Layla leaned forward and gave him a kiss. It was supposed to be brief, but Sebastian deepened it until both were breathless. Layla stood and turned to leave, but Sebastian grabbed her wrist and pulled her gently against the wall. "You kissed me," he said in a quiet, trembling voice. Layla looked away, but he gently turned her face back toward him. "You kissed me, and I kissed you back. Does that mean you like me too?" She nodded shyly. "I want to hear you say it, Layla." "Yes, Seb, I really like you," she whispered. He wrapped her in his arms. "So does this mean we're together now?" Layla smiled teasingly. "You haven't even courted me yet." Sebastian laughed. "Do I need to? From now on, I'm going to court you every day, as your boyfriend." Her cheeks flushed red. "Go away. I have laundry to finish." "Let me help." "What are you talking about? What kind of boss helps wash their maid's laundry?" "But I'm not your boss anymore. I'm your boyfriend." Layla giggled and returned to her work, allowing him to stay and help. The next morning, Layla prepared to leave early again for school, but as she stepped outside, she was surprised to find Sebastian already waiting by his car. "Seb, I thought you already left." "I was waiting for my girlfriend," he said with a grin. "I'm driving you to school." "You don't have to do that." "I do. I want to guard what's mine. From now on, I'm dropping you off and picking you up every day. Now come on, we don't want you to be late." They arrived quickly at the university. "We're here," Seb said. "Thanks again for the ride," Layla said as she stepped out. Sebastian followed her out. "Wait, Layla." "What?" "You forgot something." "I did?" she asked, confused. Before she could react, he kissed her. Then he smiled, got back into the car, and drove off. Layla stood there in shock, heart pounding, lips tingling. A warm smile slowly spread across her face. She turned to head inside but stopped short, because standing nearby was Irene, staring at her. "You tramp!" Irene screamed before slapping Layla across the face. "What did I even do to you?" Layla asked, holding her cheek. "Don't play dumb. You seduced my fiancé, you pathetic slut." Her shouting drew a crowd of curious students, all staring at them. "Please," Layla said quietly. "Let's talk somewhere private. People are listening." "Oh, now you're embarrassed?" Irene scoffed. She grabbed Layla's wrist and dragged her into the main hallway. "Everyone, listen up," she shouted. "See this girl? She's been sleeping with Governor Sebastian Veraboy. She's been milking him for money." "That's not true." "Please stop," Layla pleaded. "He told me he wasn't going through with our engagement. You think that means anything? We're still getting married next month." "That's not true," Layla shouted back. "Oh, sweetie," Irene sneered. "You really don't know who I am, do you? I'm Irene Vega, reporter, truth-teller, and daughter of this school's owner. And if you don't stay away from Sebastian, I'll make sure you never graduate from this university." She shoved Layla hard, causing her to fall to the floor. The murmurs and whispers from the onlookers grew louder. Layla scrambled to her feet and ran out of the building. She caught the first jeep she could and headed straight back to the mansion. Sebastian wasn't home, but James saw her first. "Mars, I was just about to head over to your school. Your video is everywhere. James, I don't want to talk right now, Layla stammered, rushing to her room and locking the door behind her. James knocked softly. Mars, please talk to me. I want to be alone, she whispered. A few minutes passed, and then the door opened, not by James, but by Sebastian. It's me, he said gently. Layla looked up at him, tears streaming down her face. She stood and slapped him. You lied to me. You said the engagement was off. Layla, please, let me explain. You're a liar. Everything I said to you was true. I don't know why Irene is doing this, but I promise I'm going to fix it. Before he could say anything more, his parents entered the room. So it's true, his father said, voice low and restrained. Dad! Break up with that girl, Sebastian, he snapped. Layla's heart dropped. She kept her head down, ashamed. Don't talk to her like that. You don't even know her, Sebastian said, stepping in front of her. Then, without warning, he punched his father. Francisco, enough, Tonette cried, rushing to pull them apart. Because of that girl, you've been disobeying me, Francisco shouted. What's so special about her? She's nothing but a stain on your image. Your political career is doomed if you stay with her. I don't care anymore, Sebastian yelled. Say what you want. Disown me if you have to. But I'm not leaving her. If you won't end it with her, then I'll cut you off for good. You're no longer my son, his father declared before storming out. Tonette hugged Sebastian tightly. I'll talk to him, son. Don't worry. After they left, Layla wrapped her arms around Sebastian. I'm so sorry, Seb. Everything is falling apart because of me. You didn't do anything wrong, he said softly. None of this is your fault. That night, Layla sat with James in their room, deep in conversation. What are you going to do now, Mars? He asked. I'm leaving, James. Tonight. What? But I thought Sebastian was willing to fight for you. I don't want to destroy his family. I don't want to ruin his reputation. So where will you go? To my aunt's in the countryside, Bicol. That's so far. The farther the better. News won't travel there easily. I wish I could go with you, Mars, but I have to stay here for Mum. I understand. When are you leaving? Later, once I'm sure Sebastian's asleep. At 4 a.m., Layla quietly slipped out of the mansion. No one noticed. She boarded a bus headed for the province. As the bus pulled away, her heart ached. She loved him, but she refused to be the reason his life fell apart. It was already evening when Layla arrived in the countryside, at her Aunt Rebecca's home. As she approached, a woman stepped out of the small house. Aunt Rebecca? Layla called. The woman turned and squinted in surprise. Layla, is that you? Yes, Auntie, it's me. Without another word, her aunt rushed to her and pulled her into a tight hug. Why did it take you so long to come here? She asked, tearing up. I've been waiting for you. I'm sorry for the sudden visit. Oh, hush now. Come in. You must be tired. I didn't even know you were coming. I would have prepared something special. I didn't plan ahead, Auntie. It just happened. All right, come inside. Sit down and rest. I'll run out and get you a cold drink. Just wait here. Her aunt hurried out while Layla glanced around the house, soaking in the familiarity. Rebecca was her mother's older sister. She had never married and lived in the province with Layla's grandparents. After her parents died, Rebecca had offered to take her in, but Layla had insisted on staying in the city to continue her nursing studies. When her aunt returned, she looked at Layla closely. Did something happen in the city, Layla? Is that why you came here? Layla dropped her gaze. Her silence was enough of an answer. Rebecca sat beside her and hugged her again. Whatever it is, you're not alone anymore. I'm here. Thank you, Auntie. Layla's life in the province slowly adjusted into a routine. Though she never said it aloud, she knew deep inside she would never forget Sebastian, no matter how hard she tried. Almost a month had passed since she'd left the mansion. She assumed Sebastian had already married Irene. It hurt, but she convinced herself to move on. One afternoon, a group of young men, close to her age, approached her outside the house. "Layla," one of them, Mark, called. "Yes?" "I was wondering if you'd want to come to town later. There's a lot happening, with the festival coming up. We could go see the sights." Before she could answer, a deep voice interrupted. "She's not available." They all turned. Layla's eyes widened in disbelief. "Sebastian." "Can we talk?" he asked, serious and firm. She didn't answer. She simply walked past him and into the house. But to her shock, Sebastian followed her inside. He grabbed her arm gently and turned her around. "Please, Layla, we need to talk." "There's nothing left to say, Sebastian. Why are you even here?" Before she could say more, Sebastian kissed her. It lasted a few seconds before they were interrupted by Aunt Rebecca's voice. "What on earth do you think you're doing to my niece?" She stormed toward them, slapping and hitting Sebastian in the arm repeatedly. "You have some nerve. Who do you think you are?" "Stop it, Auntie. I know him," Layla said, stepping between them. Rebecca froze. "You know him?" "Yes." "Are you two in a relationship?" "Yes, ma'am." They both answered simultaneously. Rebecca gave Layla a sharp look. "We're not together anymore," Layla added quickly. Sebastian immediately corrected her. "We are still together. She left without saying goodbye. She never broke up with me." Rebecca crossed her arms, unconvinced. "Is that true, Layla?" She stayed silent, confirming his claim, and that was how their long afternoon turned into a scolding session from Aunt Rebecca, directed at both of them about relationships and choices. That night, since it was already late, she allowed Sebastian to stay over. "You can stay," Rebecca told him, pointing a finger. "But don't try anything funny. I still haven't forgotten you kissed her this morning." "Yes, Mom, you have my word." "You're really letting him stay?" Layla asked. "Well, he is your guest. What, do you want me to leave him outside?" Rebecca turned to Sebastian again. "Go to bed, and you, get to your room and rest." Both obeyed immediately. Layla couldn't sleep that night, tossing and turning. By noon the next day, she finally stepped out of her room and found Sebastian in the kitchen with her aunt. "There you are," Rebecca said cheerfully. "Sebastian's cooking. Did you know your boyfriend can handle a kitchen?" "He's not my boyfriend," Layla mumbled. "Not yet," Sebastian added. Layla glared at him. "Oh, come on, sit down and eat," her aunt said, placing food on the table. Sebastian sat beside Layla and started spooning food onto her plate. "I can do it myself." "I know, but I want to do it for you," he said, smiling. Rebecca chuckled. "You two are adorable." "Auntie, you didn't even like him yesterday," Layla protested. "Well, he's polite and clearly smitten with you, so I've changed my mind." Layla huffed. "Just eat," Rebecca said, "and when you're done, I need you to run to the market. Take Sebastian with you." "I'll go alone." Rebecca shot her a look, and Layla fell silent. After breakfast, they walked together to the local market. Sebastian kept trying to make conversation, but Layla barely responded. "How much for a pound of pork?" she asked one vendor. $4, the woman said, eyes glued to Sebastian. "Can't you lower the price a little?" Layla asked. "We barely make a profit as is." Sebastian stepped in. "Please, ma'am, we're on a tight budget. Could we have it for $3.50? The woman smiled, blushing. "Well, if it's you, sure." She handed over the meat, and Sebastian gently touched her hand in thanks. The woman looked like she might faint. Layla's jaw tightened. What do we need next? Sebastian asked. Nothing. We're done. Let's go, she said sharply, turning to the tricycle and climbing in. Sebastian quickly followed. Back at the house, Rebecca met them at the door. You're back fast. Did you get everything? We'll buy the rest tomorrow, Layla said flatly. Did the market run out of stock? Some people just care more about flirting than shopping, she muttered, then stormed into her room. Layla locked herself in her room the entire afternoon, fuming with frustration. No matter how hard she tried to ignore it, the image of Sebastian flirting at the market replayed in her head. By nighttime, she finally stepped out to head to the kitchen. But before she could get there, she heard giggling outside. She looked out the window and saw a group of young women gathered near the house, staring and giggling at Sebastian, who stood shirtless while chopping wood in the yard. That was the last straw. Layla stormed outside. Excuse me, what are you girls doing here at this hour? Don't you have homes to go to? She shouted. The girls scrambled and walked off, casting dagger-like stares at her as they left. Why are you yelling at them? They didn't do anything wrong, Sebastian said, wiping sweat from his forehead. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you enjoying the attention? Layla shot back. You're out here half naked in front of them. What's wrong with that? It's just my shirt off. You don't just flash your body around like that. That's supposed to be for your girlfriend or your wife, not the whole neighborhood. Layla stomped back inside, slamming the door behind her. But before she could lock it, Sebastian followed her in and shut the door himself. What are you doing in here? Get out, she demanded. Instead of leaving, he locked the door and slowly walked toward her. I'm not leaving until you tell me why you're acting like this. Get out, she repeated, backing away until she hit the wall. Are you jealous? Jealous? Why would I be jealous? Then why are you so mad about what happened out there? Layla opened her mouth, but words failed her. You shouldn't just go around showing off your body like that, she said finally. You're not supposed to flaunt yourself for others to see. You should save that for someone special. So, only for someone like a girlfriend? He asked, stepping even closer. Yes, she said, without thinking. So just for you? I didn't mean... Sebastian didn't wait. He closed the gap and kissed her. Layla's eyes went wide in surprise, but slowly she responded, kissing him back, their lips deepening the moment until it turned intense. Soon they were on the bed, wrapped up in each other, expressing feelings that had long been buried. By the time it ended, it was past midnight. Layla lay beneath the sheets, tangled in Sebastian's arms. Seb, aren't you married to Irene now? She asked quietly, her back turned to him. Does this mean I'm your mistress now? Sebastian sat up and pulled her gently to face him. Who told you I got married? That was the plan, right? That's what your parents wanted. I didn't marry her, Layla. I could never marry someone I don't love. But your father, he must have been furious. He was, but I don't care anymore. I've made my choice, and now it's my turn to decide for myself. Sebastian looked into her eyes. Now answer me honestly. Why did you leave? Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't want to ruin your life, Layla said, her voice cracking. Your dad was right. Irene's family could help you in ways I never could. I don't care about any of that. What matters to me is being with you. She blinked through tears. You gave up your future for me? I gave up politics, he said. I resigned from my post as governor. I won't let anything, not even my career, be the reason we don't end up together. You didn't have to do that. I wanted to. And you know what else I want? What? To marry you. Layla, will you marry me? Yes, she whispered. Yes, I want to marry you. Sebastian pulled her close and kissed her again. But just as they got lost in the moment, the door burst open. "Layla, have you—" Aunt Rebecca stopped mid-sentence. Sebastian and Layla sat upright, eyes wide, still tangled in the blanket. "Sebastian! Layla!" she shrieked. She ran over and started hitting Sebastian with a pillow. "Have you no shame?" Sebastian and Layla could only laugh awkwardly and beg for forgiveness. A month later, Layla was walking down the aisle, tears streaming down her face. Aunt Rebecca clutched her arm, crying just as hard. As they approached the altar, Layla's sobs grew louder, overcome by the moment and the joy radiating through the chapel. The guests couldn't help but chuckle warmly at the emotional scene. "Take care of my niece, all right?" Aunt Rebecca said, barely holding it together. "You sly devil, Sebastian." "I will, Auntie, I promise," Sebastian said with a grin. He held out his hand, and Layla took it. Together, they stood before the altar. Throughout the entire ceremony, they barely looked away from each other. The moment the officiant said, "You may now kiss the bride," Sebastian gently pulled her close and kissed her. Applause erupted from the crowd. Sebastian's parents approached them next. "I'm happy for you, son," his father said. "And Layla, I'm sorry for the things I said before. You're part of this family now. Welcome." Tears filled Layla's eyes again. "Thank you, sir." No, call me Dad," he replied, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. Tonette stepped forward next and hugged Layla tightly. "I'm beyond happy that it's you my son married. From the moment I first saw you, I knew. You're the one." "Thank you, Mom," Layla whispered, touched to the core. From behind them, James called out, already crying. "Mars, I'm so happy for you. I knew it would be you and Mr. Governor in the end." "Thank you, Mars," Layla said, pulling him into a hug. "For everything." From that day forward, Layla and Sebastian lived a joyful life together. That joy only multiplied as they were later blessed with 3 children. Even now, Layla sometimes found herself in awe, never imagining that in the most unexpected of moments, she would meet a man who would love her completely, deeply, and truly.